Hi, I'm Robert Osborne. When you need someone to play a legend, sometimes it's best to just go right to a living legend to do the job. That's how our star of the month, Ava Gardner, wound up appearing in our next film, which is a revisionist Western from 1972, directed by John Huston, entitled The Life and Times of Judge Roy Bean. Now, Roy Bean was a real-life scoundrel in the Old West who took over a town, called himself a judge, and proceeded to exact his own brand of law and order, usually hanging people even for minor infractions. That's what made Judge Roy Bean so legendary. Beyond that, not too much is known about him, and as often happens by necessity when it comes to making a movie about real people, filmmakers often tend to bend the truth or create their own vivid storylines. Well, regarding this movie about Roy Bean, John Huston said there was a great deal of truth in his film, especially the fact that the judge was obsessed with a legendary actress of that time named Lily Langtry. Bean was besotted by her. He had pictures of her everywhere. He even built an opera house for her without even knowing her. When it came time to casting the part of Lily in this movie, Huston needed somebody who could simply walk on the screen and make you believe somebody like Judge Roy Bean would go gaga over her. So out went an SOS to Ava Gardner. She and Huston have been chums for years, going back to 1946 with Ava's first big movie, The Killers, which had been co-written by John Huston, although he received no screen credit for it. More recently, he directed Ava twice, in 1964's The Night of the Iguana and 1966's The Bible. Well, the cast of our movie is first class right across the board. Paul Newman plays Judge Roy Bean. Also in the cast is Jacqueline Bissett, or as the French say, it's so much more lyrically, Jacqueline Bissett. There's also Stacy Keech, Tab Hunter, Michael Sarrazin, Roddy McDowell, Richard Farnsworth, and John Huston himself playing Grizzly Adams. So here from 1972, a most unusual Western, but not surprising because one never expects the ordinary from John Huston. Here's The Life and Times of Judge Roy Bean. Director John Huston spoke very highly of the bear in this film, calling him a thorough professional, one who'd sell his soul for a Tootsie Roll. John Huston also had great affection for his good friend Ava Gardner, who he called marvelously beautiful in her brief appearance in this movie. She also was a marvelously professional lady, he said. According to one story, during that long shot when she's met at the train by the station master, that was actor Bill Pearson, an old crony of John Huston, and he tried his best to get Ava to crack up. He said the most untoward, outlandish things he could think of, but Ava kept in character throughout the entire take, although she did hoot along with the rest of the cast and crew once Huston called cut. Up next, a Western from Ava Gardner's MGM days. She's the wife of homesteader Howard Keel, and she attracts the eye of a tough gunman played by Robert Taylor.
Tonight on Turner Classic Movies, star of the month Ava Gardner stands with her hubby against a bandit in Ride Vaquero. Then reporter Ava has mixed feelings about Clark Gable in Lone Star. And Gardner inherits a fortune in My Forbidden Past. TCM.com is never off limits tonight.